Listen to the Mockingbird was composed around 1855 and is an American popular folk song. It relays the story of a singer who is listening to a mockingbird song and remembers how its song was a song that he and his sweetheart often enjoyed together. You'll notice the tune is quite lively here. This excerpt is only 8 bars long. However, you'll recognize many of the similar indications as prior excerpts. At the halfway point of the song, which is also a repeat of the opening material, we play the tune in piano, whereas we begin in forte. Much like the sea shanty excerpt, we crescendo towards the end of the piece to a strong finish back to forte. We see familiar articulations of détaché, staccato, and accents. Détachés feature prominently here. It may be particularly tricky that the quickest note value here, the 16th notes, must be even and smooth. Since we don't have to use too much bow for these faster notes, try using smaller muscles like the muscles in your hand and wrist to activate this stroke. On the final 16th note, try thinking of a slight lift toward the end of the note to prepare for the staccato coming up. These strokes will be short and include a small lift. The next quarter note is smooth. Make sure you practice patting the landing so we don't crash into the quarter note or have it be suddenly loud now that we have more length to the note. It's easy to lose a sense of count, even in the first few notes of the piece, because we go from fast, medium to slow tempo and then have a rather, quote, slow rest. When we look ahead, we also see that fast notes are coming up again, so it's easy for the rest to get overlooked and often undercounted. This is why metronome work will be very important. Another thing I do in this situation is to also pretend that someone has already started or someone is echoing the opening 16th notes. So after I finish my half phrase, I start humming in my mind the 4 16th notes during the rest. If I have traveled past the midpoint of the bow for the quarter note, it's also a great time for me to replace my bow back to somewhere near the balance point to get ready again for these 16th notes. The next bar presents a rhythmic syncopation, where the stresses of the music occur on usually weak metrical beats. In bar 3, you'll see that there is an accent on the and of beat 1, a beat that is usually weak and usually not emphasized. It creates a little disturbance in the rhythmic flow. When I have trouble feeling this displacement, like the quarter rest in bar 1, I imagine 2 eighth notes in the quarter note. I count eighth notes through the bar to help line up all of the notes, eventually going back to quarter notes to enjoy the feeling of a temporary displacement in metric emphasis. When the same rhythm returns in bar 7, be sure to practice the now familiar rhythm with a gradual crescendo to forte. Make sure the final note is held for its full value, 2.5 beats.